From the legendary Supermarine Spitfire that defended the skies of Britain, to the never-yet fast and versatile de Havilland Mosquito, and the revolutionary Gloster Meteor, Britain changed air combat forever. Early marks used the Rolls-Royce Merlin II engine, while later versions adopted the two-stage supercharged Merlin 61 and eventually the more powerful Griffon 61. Armament typically included combinations of Browning .303 machine guns and Hispano 20mm cannon. Adaptations for reconnaissance, carrier-based, seafire, and photo missions demonstrated the design's flexibility. The Supermarine Spitfire was a British single-seat fighter aircraft used by the Royal Air Force and Allied nations during World War II. Designed by R.J. Mitchell of Supermarine Aviation Works, it became an enduring symbol of Britain's defence, noted for its speed, agility, and distinctive elliptical wings. The Hawker Typhoon was a British single-seat fighter bomber developed by Hawker Aircraft during World War II. Originally designed as a high-altitude interceptor, it became one of the most effective low-level ground attack aircraft of the war, famed for its speed, ruggedness, and heavy armament. The Typhoon was created to replace the Hawker Hurricane as a high-performance interceptor. Powered by the advanced Napier Sabre engine, it faced early reliability and structural issues. Once these were resolved, its exceptional low-altitude speed and firepower made it formidable in tactical roles, particularly against enemy armor and transport. The Hawker Tempest was a British single-seat fighter aircraft developed during World War II by Hawker Aircraft. Evolved from the Hawker Typhoon, it was one of the fastest propeller-driven fighters of the war and proved highly effective in intercepting German V-1 flying bombs and engaging Luftwaffe aircraft. Operational history: entering Royal Air Force service in early 1944, the Tempest 5 saw action over Western Europe. It was notably successful against the V-1 flying bomb menace, credited with hundreds of kills. Later, Tempests engaged advanced German fighters such as the Messerschmitt Me 262 and provided ground attack support during the Allied advance into Germany. The Hawker Hurricane was a British single-seat fighter aircraft designed by Sidney Cam and built by Hawker Aircraft Limited in the 1930s and 1940s. It was the first monoplane fighter of the Royal Air Force and became one of the most decisive weapons in the early years of World War II, especially during the Battle of Britain. More than a dozen marks were produced, including the cannon-armed Hurricane Defiant IC, the 40mm equipped IIID flying can opener, and navalized Sea Hurricanes launched from carriers and catapult-armed merchant ships, Hurricats. Production reached about 14,500 aircraft, with additional units built by Gloster Aircraft Company and Canada Car and Foundry. The Boulton Defiant was a British World War II turret fighter designed and built by Boulton Aircraft. Unique for its era, it carried no forward-firing guns, relying instead on a power-operated dorsal turret. Initially promising, it soon proved vulnerable in daylight combat, but found renewed success as a night fighter. The Defiant entered combat during the Battle of France and the early Battle of Britain. At first, German fighters mistook it for the Hurricane and suffered losses. However, once opponents adapted, its lack of forward armament and heavy turret made it easy prey in daylight. The RAF quickly reassigned it to night fighter and air-sea rescue duties, where it performed more effectively until being replaced by more capable aircraft like the Bristol Beaufighter. The Bristol Beaufighter was a British multi-role aircraft developed during the Second World War, originally conceived as a heavy fighter. Built by the Bristol Aeroplane Company, it became one of the Royal Air Force's most versatile aircraft, serving as a night fighter, strike aircraft, and torpedo bomber across multiple theaters. Initially deployed as a night fighter, the Beaufighter became an effective radar-equipped interceptor against German bombers during the Blitz. Later versions, such as the Beaufighter Mark VI and TF.X, were optimized for anti-shipping and ground attack missions, notably in the Mediterranean and Pacific theaters, where it gained the nickname Whispering Death for its quiet approach. The de Havilland Mosquito was a British twin-engine multi-role combat aircraft used during World War II. Nicknamed the Wooden Wonder, it was renowned for its wooden construction, exceptional speed, and adaptability to roles ranging from bomber to reconnaissance and night fighter. Entering service in 1941, the Mosquito proved invaluable in missions requiring speed and precision. It excelled in operations such as the Amiens prison raid, Operation Jericho, and Pathfinder duties guiding heavy bombers. Its minimal crew of 2 reduced losses and its survivor, the de Havilland Mosquito, became a symbol of innovative wartime design and engineering efficiency. Over 7,700 were built between 1940 and 1950. Its wooden airframe and multi-purpose success influenced post-war aircraft development and established the Mosquito as one of World War II's most iconic combat aircraft. The Gloster Gladiator was a British biplane fighter aircraft developed in the 1930s by the Gloster Aircraft Company. As the Royal Air Force's last biplane fighter, it bridged the technological gap between classic fabric-covered designs and the new generation of all-metal monoplanes at the dawn of the Second World War. Entering Royal Air Force service in 1937, the Gladiator served with several nations, including Norway, Finland, China, and Belgium. It saw early World War II combat in Norway, North Africa, and the defense of Malta, where a small contingent of gladiators famously became known as Faith, Hope, and Charity. Despite being outclassed by faster monoplane adversaries, it performed valiantly in multiple theaters. Legacy: the Gloster Gladiator marked the end of the biplane fighter lineage in British service. Though soon replaced by aircraft such as the Supermarine Spitfire and Hawker Hurricane, it remains celebrated for its resilience and as a symbol of the Royal Air Force's transition into the modern air combat era. Restored examples continue to fly in air displays and aviation museums worldwide. The Gloster Meteor was Britain's first operational jet-powered fighter aircraft and the Allies' only jet to see combat during World War II. Developed by the Gloster Aircraft Company, it marked the transition from propeller-driven fighters to the jet age and remained in service into the 1950s. The Meteor's design began in 1940 under Chief Engineer George Carter. It used 2 jet engines mounted in the wing roots, offering high speed and climb rates compared to piston fighters. Early models were relatively simple, but evolved quickly with improved aerodynamics and more powerful engines. The twin-engine layout provided reliability at a time when jet technology was new and often unpredictable. Operational history: first deployed in 1944, the Meteor initially served in homeland defense against German V-1 flying bomb attacks. It never directly engaged the Messerschmitt Me 262 in Europe, but its success validated jet combat's viability. Post-war, it equipped numerous RAF and Allied squadrons and saw action in the Korean War, primarily in ground attack roles. The Westland Whirlwind was a British twin-engine fighter aircraft developed by Westland Aircraft during the early years of the Second World War. It was among the first Royal Air Force (RAF) fighters to feature cannon armament and was notable for its advanced design and high speed for its time. Conceived to meet an Air Ministry requirement for a heavily armed, high-speed fighter, the Whirlwind was designed around 4 nose-mounted 20mm Hispano cannons, an exceptional firepower for its era. Its compact airframe, all-metal construction, and twin-engine layout aimed to combine speed, climb rate, and range. The aircraft used the Rolls-Royce Peregrine engine, a development of the Merlin family, but less powerful and ultimately less reliable. Operational history: the Whirlwind entered service with RAF Fighter Command in 1940, mainly equipping numbers 263 and 137 squadrons. Although it excelled at low-level interception and ground attack missions, engine production issues and limited high-altitude performance curtailed its use. By 1943, it was withdrawn in favor of more capable single-engine and twin-engine types like the Hawker Typhoon and de Havilland Mosquito.